If at any point anybody does have to leave, take a call, whatever, please just feel free to do that. I'm not one of those speakers who's going to heckle you and shout at you for that. The other thing is I work in a media company, so if you want to take your phones out, if you want to take photos, that's all cool. But because I work in a media company, you might notice there's a hashtag on the bottom here. If you post it online, please use it so I can find it, and thank you for taking them. This was a little bit of a teaser for you to read because you quite often get sat in a venue before the speakers start. But this is actually going to get completely explained to you as we go through. This is, as it says here, the Solihull Business Forum. Obviously, there's a lot of business in the area, and we want to bring people together to build relationships and to work together. I'm actually currently wearing a whole multitude of brands, and some of them are small businesses, which I'll come to a little bit later. But it's not about me, it's not about them, it's about all of you who have taken the time out to invest in yourselves and the relationships in the room. So today I'm going to teach you productivity when creating content for social media. Anyone ever feel like it's a bit of a drain having to do anything on social media? Right? It's awkward, takes up time, a bit of a pain. Wouldn't it be great if you could do less, get more, and generate leads in your business? Sound good? Okay, I've been told I've got 30 minutes, so I suppose I should get on with it. The cards that are on your seats is actually, does anyone not have access to a pen right now? Because you will need it at one point in the next 30 minutes. Okay, cool. I'll refer to that in a minute. There's an activity for you to fill in on those cards where I'm going to give something back to you beyond the 30 minutes. So what we're going to do is I need to give you 3 really, really important warnings before we get started. Other than the fact I speak very fast. This talk, the amount of time it takes me to deliver the whole of this talk, you could create your business's whole month of social media content in 30 minutes. I know because we have clients that do exactly that and are getting leads from spending 30 minutes doing their social media. Anyone think that's a good idea to narrow it down? Cool. So on those cards, it says on the first white box, how many hours do you currently spend on social media? So while I'm going through this, please do fill in the 3 boxes. The questions are pretty simple. You could have created that. That's the first warning. Second one is you're not likely, based on what I tell you today and what you could do in the future, to take action on any of it. You're much more likely to take action on the fact that I'm going to tell you how much time you've wasted over the last 12 months because you can't get that back. So the outcomes from today are to move forward knowing something. If you know it, you need to implement it. Agreed? Cool. Third one, if you own a smartphone, you have everything you need to do what I'm going to teach you over the next 30 minutes. Anyone in the room not got a smartphone? Cool, we're in the right room. Okay, everybody ready? To warn you, there's 36 slides in 30 minutes, so it is quite fast-paced. But if you miss anything, I am here for questions, and the session is being recorded if you want to listen back to it afterwards. Okay? So anyone can do this. Right? Anyone in this room, you've all said you've got a smartphone, so you can do exactly what I'm going to teach you. This is all you need to be able to do what I'm going to teach you. It's not a light bulb and an iPad. It is knowledge and a device. Right now, we live in an age where you don't even need a SIM card in your device to be able to run a business. There's free Wi-Fi in banks, in cafes, in coffee shops, in bars. Right? You could literally have a device and run your whole business from one of those locations without a SIM card. I know because one of the devices in this room has no SIM card in it. It literally arrived about 3 hours ago. So we drink our Kool-Aid. Everything we teach you, we do for ourselves. I'm going to be the first person to admit, if you go to itsnomad9.com, you'll be sadly disappointed that there's no website there. We've deleted it, but if you look at it at the end of March, tell me how much content you see on it. I'm going to show you in 30 days on my own website from 0 what you can do on a website. I deleted my website to prove it to you and other people I've spoken to. In 1 month, we're going to create a whole brand new training website from the ground up and be #1 for it. So all you need is the knowledge, which no doubt you have in your industry, and a device, which you've already told me you have. This gentleman, Kerwin Ray, business coach in Australia, hired me for $65,000 a year working 2 days a week from a 5-minute conversation. When I do strategy, I do it quickly. He gave a talk very much like this. It was a free event people could attend, and he talked about all the social media platforms that he was using at the time. And if you don't recognize the symbol, this is Snapchat, and on his t-shirt. He wasn't using Snapchat when I stood in that room. I took him from not using Snapchat to making $68,000 in 8 weeks, just on Snapchat. Anyone want 68 grand in the next 8 weeks? Right, so don't discount any platform. It doesn't necessarily have to be Snapchat, they're changing all the time. Right now, TikTok is probably the best investment of your time to get in front of, you might think teenagers, that's what people said about Snapchat. $68,000 in 8 weeks says otherwise, right? So it's all proven stuff. You can go and read about this. This is literally the moment it happened, photo in a lift. I took 2 snaps, shared 3 facts with him, and it took me 5 minutes. I could tell you at the moment this happened and the last time I checked the stats for the UK, Snapchat had 4 million people over 18 on the platform. Still think your customer's not there? Probably are, you just don't know how to get there. All it took for him to do it was a change of mindset. He had been told by arguably one of the best internet marketers, Gary Vaynerchuk, you need to use Snapchat. Didn't understand why he needed to use it, so he never signed up. He lost 2 years of revenue on Snapchat. Do the maths, 68,000 in 8 weeks. I wouldn't want to be the people in his team laughing and, about that. So really, really focus on what the opportunities are in all of this. Content marketing, however, is a long game. If you think you're going to start something on a platform and you're going to get instant results, that case study says you can. However, you should never expect that to be the case, and you should be in it for the long haul. It is not something you just put 5 minutes in, go, it didn't work, and walk away from it. You have to invest time in showing up and putting time into it. It will work for you as long as you are consistent with it and you know what you're doing. It's great for raising your visibility. I go to loads of networking events. In fact, there's someone in this room who I've been friends with for a little while online who said, brilliant, it would be great to meet you in person finally. Raising visibility and getting in front of people. It's easy, and here's the secret, it's free. Everyone talks about Facebook ads and paid ads. Social media can be done for free, but you have to put your time into it. The money only accelerates it, and trust me, you don't want to accelerate it unless you're already doing it well. That is the biggest waste of money you can spend online. You need to create valuable digital assets. Right now, while I'm talking to you, I am currently writing a blog, recording a video, and creating all my social media content in 30 minutes. If you turn around and look on the 2 tables at the back, you will see 2 slightly weird contraptions holding mobile phones. Exactly what I've talked to you about creating content. And also, if you look closely, there's a little light here transmitting my voice from here to that phone, clear audio in that device, sync the 2, got a perfect video of the talk. It's not complicated, you just got to put the systems in place to make it work. Create your assets. Without the assets, it doesn't work. You don't go into a property market, not have any assets and expect to earn lots of money there, right? Have to get involved, you have to invest into it. It's all about the users. As much as you want everything in your business to be about you and your business, it's about the people that you serve. The minute you understand that, you'll start to understand how social media works. This is does anyone recognize Walkabout as a bar name? Okay, cool, that makes this a bit easier. This was the Walkabout in Bournemouth. Short version of this, because we've only got 30 minutes. This bar on a Tuesday night had 40 premium drinks for £1 in a student town with 2 universities, 40,000 students, and basically no competition on a Tuesday, and they couldn't fill it. However, some of these huge photos that you see on this flyer were taken about 3 weeks later. In fact, if I go to the next one, that top photo is 600 people outside the venue, week 3 of a social media campaign that cost them £0. The people in the venue that they already had became advocates, talked about the brand, posted about it. This is your cue to take photos and post them online. They got the people in the venue to start posting about the event, telling other people, when you talk about your business, people don't listen. When your customers talk about your business, everybody listens. They're independent and they have nothing to gain unless you have a kick-ass affiliate system. So you can incentivize it. All it took was, again, you might notice there's some magic numbers going on. This was really short, 3 weeks to get them from 200 to 1,200 people in a venue. They paid for a photographer, they set their social media up properly, and then they just went hard at it on social. Spent time on it, your most valuable asset. Not hard. Proof that this is real? Look closely, there's me. We started taking photos in this venue to show people what it was like. Why do you think the guys at the back are taking pictures of the room? While you were networking, I took a selfie before I came on, so that other people know about it and come along. The photos from this took it from this to this in 3 weeks. Think about that sort of percentage increase in business in your business. It's not hard, just have to have the right system in place. All it took was a different approach for this one. Last one was mindset, this one was the approach. They were already doing marketing, they already knew what they should be doing, they just hadn't got it quite right. Again, it's not about them, it's about you. So what about you? It all will work for you if you implement it. If you go, that was brilliant, I'm fired up, I can do this, social media is easy, and you walk out the room and do nothing, it won't work. You have to implement it. This is the first challenge I'm going to give you today. It's participatory. I've told you you have to fill in bits on cards. This is slightly more involved. You own a smartphone, it has a camera. You don't have to do it in the room. When you get a minute, record a 1 to 2 minute video about your business. In fact, let me make this easier. When you talk about your business, it's really uncomfortable. The best 2-minute video you could create today is talking about what you learnt in this room. Why? Because you're a customer of this room. Right? You are doing what you want your customer to do, going through the experience so you understand it. 1 to 2 minute video, post it online, use the hashtag. Here's where the magic happens. You do that. Do you think I'm going to share it? Do you think Danny's going to share it? Do you think Leon and MetroBank are going to share it? You just got a free audience talking about someone else. When your customers do that, the same thing happens. That's how you go from 200 to 1,200 people in 3 weeks. Really, really easy. I forgot to update my slide, apparently. Don't use this hashtag, use the one on the bottom corner. This is Gary Vaynerchuk. If you don't know him, Gary V. Everybody looks to him for what to do online. Arguably one of the best marketers in the current times. He's booked to speak. He's like a 6 times bestseller on the New York Times list. Gets booked to speak all over the world, runs agencies in 4 different places. But he still works to 3 fundamental principles. First thing is that he day trades attention. Don't know what that means. He doesn't care what you and the audience are doing today. He wants to know what you're going to do next. Right? He's talking about TikTok before anyone's on it. He invested in Snapchat before it became big. He'll take a punt on things that he thinks are going to be the next place. If he's wrong, what's he lost? A bit of time. And when he's investing a bit of money. In the scheme of the ballparks he plays in, it's really small, but if he gets it right, it's really big. Same thing applies to working on the platforms. He applies the 3 E's that we teach in our 6-hour version of this, condensed down into this. These are the 3 things. If you're going to do social media on your own, you don't need anyone else, you have to do 3 things, 3 E's. Engage people. So many people broadcast and don't engage with their audience. They post and then never reply to comments. Right? The worst thing you can do. Customer feels like you ignored them. Educate them. Why should I do business with you? If you work in the property sector, why are you the right person? How are you going to help me? If you're a bank, what do you offer me that makes you competitive against other people? It literally might be you have amazing customer service. I'll buy with that. I would go to a company for customer service every single day over price. Anyone ever frustrated calling customer service? It's easy. So educate people on why they need to work with you. The other thing is, if you've got great people in your business, entertain them. There is currently a 7-year-old making millions on YouTube opening toys. Proof you can make money online by entertaining people. I'm not going to go any further. So I talk loads about this, but loads of you will be sat there going, okay, I know I need to do it. Where do I go? What platforms do I go to? There's loads. The answer is, dependent on what you're writing on that red card in front of you, how much time are you allocating? Because you can't be on all of these if you've got 4 hours a week. You're better to do 1 or 2 really well and then move to another one. Right? So you need to pick the platforms based on how much time you have, what the demographic is, and how you can deliver on that platform. There are simply some people who would never really take off on Snapchat or TikTok. However, the boss in the company might not take off there, but an employee might. Empowering the team to play to their strengths will help you to do this better. Don't make it about an individual, make it a team sport, and it will work. I'm not going to whistle through them. If you don't know any of them, you can ask me afterwards. This one usually gets a bit of a laugh because it's Tinder. And everyone's like, that's a dating platform, that's not social media. This is social. People forget that social media, clue in the title, keep it social. Have conversations, be nice to people, be to people online like you would be to them in person. It is social because people connect with each other, they have conversations, and they share maybe a little bit too much. Tony Robbins, who is a peak performance coach, again, arguably one of the best in the world, advertises inside Tinder. He helps people with relationships, makes sense, you'd help people on Tinder. However, it's part of Facebook's ad platform. He might not be in the platform, but he's advertising where his audience is. So you can be in the platforms without necessarily being in the platforms. This is also a really small segment of what's available to you. If I put them all up here, this would be like 30 hours of presentation. So there's plenty more platforms to play with. When you get to going to the platforms, what do I do? What do I post? There's two elements to this. What physical type of thing, left-hand column, written, images, videos, sharing. You can socially share other people's things. The right-hand side is the type of things you do within that. Behind the scenes, meet the team, product launches, events. All of that is things that you can create social media buzz around. How many of you heard about this event on social media? Right? How many of you heard about an Eventbrite? How many of you got it on an email? How many people got personally invited? Right? It's an even split across all the things, right? So if you didn't do social media, the room would be probably a third smaller, which means there's less opportunity. This room is a case study of why this stuff works. Content strategy. Do not create content without a strategy. Has anyone ever posted on social media and thought that didn't actually work? I know I have. It's okay, this is a safe room. Inside your content strategy, you need to have a purpose. Don't think you're going to turn up on TikTok and you're just going to make $68,000 in 8 weeks. When he did it, he had an exact plan because we'd drawn it out on a whiteboard and gone, you do this, and you do this. Guess what? He did this, this, and this and made $68,000. The strategy that sits behind it is why it works. Have a purpose to the strategy and know what's your brand tone. Right? Has anyone ever heard of Wendy's? Anyone use Twitter? If you use Twitter and you don't know Wendy's, go and look them up. They're a fast food restaurant in America who basically, their whole activity online is making fun of all the other fast food restaurants. Did anyone see the moldy burger by Burger King? Good or bad advert? Good. Good? Anyone else think it was bad? So there's argument around this because as a consumer, do you want to see a moldy burger? It's not going to make you want a burger, but it makes you, if you think about it, realize that it's good food, right? It's better than its competition because it does degrade. However, it's a bit too clever, and if you have to explain it to people, you've damaged your brand. So there's this massive thing online of whether it was a good or bad advertising campaign. So you've got to think about it. What's your brand tone? Of course, the advertising agency that sat behind it sold the idea to the person who has the purse strings, right? So they decided to do it. The types of platforms and the types of content have to work for you. If you just cannot write, give you a clue on this, Richard Branson, dyslexic, admits himself, your words are important and the spelling isn't, right? He actually dictates his speeches to someone else to write them. I'd be well confused by that because then I'd be trying to read it back and it wouldn't make any sense to me either way, right? But it's working to his strengths. Really good speaker, running really strong brands. Doesn't matter he's dyslexic because he's solved that problem. So what's the reason that you're not doing social at a high level now? Fix the problem. It might be bringing in an intern. It might be working with an agency. Now, the reason I give you those two examples is most people go, oh, it's cool, I get an 18-year-old and they won't cost us a lot of money. Ever done a marketing campaign that doesn't work? costs a lot of money. So think when you're thinking in that mindset of who's going to do it, have they got the experience? If they haven't, it can cost you a lot of money. It will take you a lot longer to rebuild your brand if you do something wrong. So be really careful. Posting schedule and content types, you have to, again, going back to how much time you or your organization has, will determine how much you do online and how many platforms you play on. Work with an agency, the benefit is they have specialists on each platform. So if you go to an agency, they can go, well, we've got this person who can teach you all of the Snapchat stuff, and this person will optimize your YouTube. Whereas if you bring one person in, do you think they're going to be an expert in all those different areas? So paying the salary that you would pay to an individual in an agency actually gives you a more competitive advantage. I'm not here trying to sell you anything. I expect you to walk out of here and go, I've got this, and do it on your own. Right? I'm just giving you very real conversation around creating content because it's what we do. This is literally how you do social media in 4 pictures. Really, really basic. Don't overcomplicate it, right? Everybody overcomplicates social media. Put the tools, systems, and the workflow in place, right? You do it in every other part of your business. Why don't you do it for social media? Why is it ad hoc when you've got a minute? Why is it someone's part-time job rather than being a priority? Now knowing you might be able to make $68,000 in 8 weeks, would it be a priority to have one person making $68,000 in 8 weeks? Pay them 40 grand, get 68 grand back in 8 weeks. Why do you think he hired me for 65 grand? Because I ran the strategy campaign for Snapchat. He made 68 grand and went, do you want a job? 65 grand, 2 days a week. Build the rest of my strategy. Can't lose, he's already made 3 grand. So build properly. So build your workflows, get the tools in place. At the end of this, there is a slide. Don't take a picture of it. The text will be tiny. I'll send it to you. If you want it, like, just make sure you talk to me and I'll send it out to you. The content, it's all the tools. That's what that slide is, but it's a massive block of text, so it's just there to show you. Compelling content. If it's not interesting, if it's not compelling, no one will care. Burger King's Moldy Burger works really well because everyone goes, oh! Some people go, oh! Other people go, right? But it shocks, so it was compelling enough to grab people's attention. Whether it had the desired effect, well, sales will tell us that shortly. User-generated content. Again, I've seen people taking photos at the back of the room, videos. I'm taking videos. People in your business, team members, customers, suppliers. The first thing I did when I pulled up in the car park was sun setting. Stop, selfie, picture in the mirror, off the back of the car, right? Created a load of content. Why? Because it's good for MetroBank. It's good for all the partners of the event. It's good for the venue. And I got loads of new pictures to use. How can you not win when it's free to create? The fact is, most people go, I haven't got anything to post. How many photos on your phone right now? I know every time I clear my phone in about a week, it will be like 3,000 photos. Because you're better to take them, decide you don't want them, than not take them and wish you had. So think about creating them. User-generated content, you have to ask people to do it. Me saying there's a hashtag here, if you post online, please use the hashtag, is so that I can go and share it. I can give back to you if you post about the event. If you don't take photos, that's fine. You can still write about it. It could be a tweet, it could be a Facebook update, a LinkedIn update. One thing that you learn. It could be that 1 to 2 minute video I talked to you about. At the end of this, you'll understand why I said 1 to 2 minute video, because that will produce more content for you, that 1 to 2 minute video. Strategy, get it managed and get it consistent. Anyone wish they could do something once and get 10 times the results for it? I know I do, because we're about to build a website from the ground up and do 300 pages in 30 days. I'd like someone to go count them at the end of March and hold me accountable, but we're going for 300 pages by the end. When you've got a good system in place, you can do less work and get more done by repurposing. This talk is 30 minutes. That pretty much only works on a couple of the platforms. However, I could put bits of it into my story on Snapchat, on my Instagram, 1 minute clips. If anyone does already follow me, they'll have seen some of the clips of previous trainings where it's 1 minute and you go, wonder what else he said. Well, come to a training or watch the full video. So I'm leading you down a path to do business with us. How do you do it? Like that. Would anyone like this exact workflow of how to do this? Yeah? It's really, really easy. I don't know how well you can read it on the bottom here. If you all get your phones out, this is how easy it is. And this is also a demonstration of something you can do in your business. If you go onto Facebook Messenger right now and you put the hashtag for this event, which is Solihull Business Forum, into Messenger to my company page, it's Nomad 9, which you can also see on the bottom down here. This is where you go if you're typing it in a browser, right? You will be sent that while I'm talking to you. It will land on your phone. You'll be able to zoom in and actually read it rather than having to squint or take photos. Now imagine how you could do that automation and have things that you need to tell people on repeat. Ever have to answer a question more than once in your business? Set up automation that does it for you, right? Automation isn't bad. Bad application of automation is bad. It's not the automation itself, it's how it's applied. I heard a couple of phones go off. That means there's probably a couple of people in Messenger. Also, it will notify me every time somebody does that, because it's my page and I will get notifications as people do it. So you can go and download this. If you need it afterwards, I'll come back to it as well. Content is a waste of time unless it is doing something for your business. Right? It will raise your visibility. That's doing something for your business. It can generate leads. That is doing something for your business. You can make sales online around the clock using content. How do I know? I woke up to 3 new clients. They literally were like, how do I sign up to this thing where you repurpose everything and I don't have to do anything? I was like, well, it's not quite do nothing. You have to do 30 minutes. So we show them how to do it. We put content online. And why do they want it? Because we literally do it in our own business. So you wonder how it works. Look at what we do online. Do a talk like this. This now becomes maybe 5 to 10 short videos, 1 30-minute video. This can become a blog with a breakdown of what I've talked about. I can also tag the people that I recognize in the room that I've connected with, which means it's got social amplification. So it becomes something that self-perpetuates and works around the clock. You have to go where people are spending their time. I know I've ever built a website and gone, no one goes there, it doesn't work. Or built a Facebook and gone, we've only got like 300 people on it. You don't care about the 300 people, why would 3,000 people come? You have to engage with those people, same as we did with Walkabout's Club. Those 200 people made it 1,200 people. We didn't do it, they did. We just led them there. You care about people and you go where they are. Don't build it and expect them to come. Go where they are, have the conversation, and they will follow you back to where you are. It's really easy. Most of my lead generation at the moment is Gary Vaynerchuk posts 1 post online, 3,000 comments. I go and reply. Why? Because he can't. He hasn't got the time or the capacity because he's got millions of people following him. I run a digital agency that delivers a similar product. Therefore, I can go and comment and provide the solution that they're asking for. It's really easy. There's a couple of really good examples in the food sector that if you grab me afterwards, I'll tell. People also care about stories. How many people were most taken aback in this talk when I said, that guy made $68,000 in 8 weeks? The clincher of that is he made the first 11,000 in like 8 days or something. It was like a week. Imagine waking up a week from today knowing that there's 10 to 11,000 pounds more in the bank. But you've got to put a week of work in. It's real tough. A week of work for 10,000 pounds. And it wasn't really a week of work. It was probably about 2.5 hours of work, knowing what the strategy was. But you have to do it. In order to get started, don't overthink it. Document, don't create. Everyone says content creation, which instantly strikes fear into people. What do I create? Well, if you document, you don't have to think about it. What do you do for a business? Document that. Like if you renovate properties, talk about that, show pictures, record a video at a property. If you work in a bank, why is it good to be in that bank? Team members in the bank. It's literally all the content is there. I am currently documenting the talk I'm giving, which is my content. I'm literally showing you in the room how to do exactly what I'm talking to you about. Forget creating, document it, and it is created. don't think about creating this document. This is a crazy, powerful amount of tools that if you purchased all of them would probably cost you £200. Some are bits of equipment, some are software subscriptions, but this is a whole range of tools that we currently use in our business. We don't ever recommend anything until we have battle tested it. Like, we moved our whole customer base's social scheduling to a new platform after 8 years. That was a very big commitment to convince all our customers to change what they were already doing. But the customer service of the platform was up here from the one we had existing. We bought in on the customer service, how much they cared, and they built the payment platform and the sign-up process specifically for our business to make it easy for us and our customers. So they went over and above. All of these, again, if you want them, message me through Messenger as well. Probably as a photo may or may not come out, so feel free to try and take a photo if you want. Raising your profile. Anyone on LinkedIn? Just waiting for Danny to say, do nearby. There is a thing called Social Selling Index on LinkedIn. Essentially, it's a good indicator of what you should be doing on every single platform. Ultimately, you should be posting good quality content. You should be building relationships, having conversations, and helping people. If you do that, you get a good score. They've got a complex algorithm that looks at how many messages you send a month, how many people you're connecting with, if you're connecting with the right people. Proviso to that, who LinkedIn thinks is the right person. I get slammed all the time for connecting with the wrong people. I do social media. How many businesses cannot do social media? It works pretty much for every business. So it does work. You just have to build it. That, I don't know where I got on time because I don't have a clock in the room, unfortunately. That is how easy social media is. If you fill in the time things on those red cards that were on the table, on the seats, you'll come to the realization on your own without me talking to you about it. How much time do I currently spend on social media? What is the value of me signing up one new client on my average sale? That will tell you how much should I invest in doing social media. The maths is on the card, right? It's really easy. If you need help with it, come and talk to me. That's kind of it. Like, it's not complicated. It's easy. Most people overcomplicate it. Good system and process. Connect and care about your customers, and then get it amplified through social media. That's it. I'm done. Anyone got questions?